You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
They're starting to vote now in California. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The biggest Super Tuesday prize where it's winner take all, which former President Trump likes.
Well, my focus is really at this point, it's on Biden. We should win almost every state today. I think every state.
There are 15 Republican contests today after another Trump win last night. He beat Nikki Haley in North Dakota by 70 points. And the former president tells Fox she cannot win the nomination.
There is no path. What's she doing other than hurting the Republican Party?
Fox's Bill Malugin reports from her home state of South Carolina.
We've been following Nikki Haley around for the last several days, and we asked her what are her expectations heading into tonight. She said to be competitive. We asked, what does competitive mean? She said the media will define that. Well, just a short time ago, she was on Fox News where she was asked directly, if tonight does not go well for her, will she drop out? Will she endorse Donald Trump? Here's what she said.
Let's let their voices get heard. I haven't heard him pledge to me that he would support me if I won. So I don't know why I have to go and pledge to him.
In today's Democratic primaries, President Biden not facing a major challenge, though in 7 states, voters can choose uncommitted, like 13% of Democrats did in Michigan, protesting the president's support for Israel and the war in Gaza. Now, he is pushing for a ceasefire. And as those talks continue, there's news from the United Nations about the attack that triggered the war.
The UN team says there's convincing information of sexual violence on October 7th and reasonable grounds to believe the Hamas attackers committed rape and gang rape during their assault. Hamas has denied any of that took place. But the United Nations mission believes sex assaults occurred in at least 3 locations.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. As the war rages in Ukraine, the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for 2 Russian military officers on charges related to attacks on civilians. A year ago, that court issued an arrest warrant for Russian leader Vladimir Putin for war crimes. Of course, he remains in power. America's listening to Fox News.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, billing, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable hours and increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light, featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at Eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at Downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us on a terrific Tuesday. 844-766-6607 is the number. It is a Matthew James Tax Wealth Management hotline. By the way, before we get to our special guest, Raging Cajun gift package giveaway today. And I'm going to do another one on Friday. All you got to do is email me and say you want to win the Raging Cajun gift package. Make sure you leave me your address. Email me, moon@moongriffon.com, moon@moongriffon.com. We'll give away a Raging Cajun seasoning gift package. And it's kind of cool. This company is really growing, and you'll be excited to have their gift package, I can promise you. If you hadn't tried their products, you really owe it to yourself to give them a shot. All righty, we're joined by Senator Jeremy Stein. Jeremy, how you doing?
Excellent, Moon. Good morning to you. It was a busy week and weekend, but doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Well, you had a busy weekend because I showed up at Stein on Sunday, and I text you. And I said, oh, my God, I could not. Now, I went to Broussard, and I could not find a parking spot. I said, what's wrong with these people? I'm going to have to get a special parking spot from Jeremy and the Stein group. Anyway, I finally found a spot, and I went in, and that wasn't a problem. And I grabbed what I needed, and I looked up, and the line was wrapped around. I said, oh, my God, we're going to be here a while. But on the flip side, a lot of people taking advantage. And I told people yesterday when I did your ad that y'all wanted to thank them because thank the people for coming out, supporting Stein. You know, y'all turn around and support them. But it was a good deal for everybody. So I just wanted to bring it up to you real quick because I know it was a big weekend. I know you like to thank people.
No, absolutely. I thank you and thank everyone out there. It's amazing what you do when you slash taxes, right? So, and we pay for those taxes, and we gladly pay for them for those weekends because it's a wonderful sell for everyone, and just wonderful that everybody still shops local. So we do appreciate the business.
Well, it was kind of a twofold, and I've talked to David and many times, and we talked about how it was really a sale on a sale because you already had sale on stuff. And then you got the 10% off, and you have to pay sales tax. So somebody looking for big ticket items, and it really was a lot of savings. And I noticed a lot of people had a lot of stuff in their hands.
Yeah, and there's no cap on it, meaning you can buy a whole house package as long as you're buying it that weekend in cash. And so that's a lot of savings. 10, depending where you are in the state of Louisiana, at least 10%.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah, at least that. All righty, so we had the big the brouhaha with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've already had people tell me, well, we're not out the woodworks yet, that it's probably going to come back. So where do we stand with Blue Cross Blue Shield? Is everything safe for the time being? Any legislation coming through? What's going on with Blue Cross Blue Shield?
So as you know, Moon, the session starts on this Monday coming up. All the bills that needed to be filed, the deadline's passed, so can't file any legislation for this session. Fortunately, I did file a great piece of legislation I'm proud of and worked with many interested parties from Lake Charles all the way to New Orleans, folks that have been involved with this thing with me since July when I first caught wind of it through a lot of these constituents. And so it's a wonderful piece of legislation, and it's going to hopefully protect the insured from a deal like this rearing its ugly head again. And to answer your other question, where do we stand in terms of this, new deal? Let's call it 3.0, since they've tried twice already. I feel good about it. You hear different rumors around the Capitol. I'm told that they don't intend to bring it again. Sometimes you hear they're thinking about it. So who knows? But the point is, we need to find a resolution, a way to pass a law to where you don't have these conflicts of interest happening again. So if you'd like, I can dig into some of the things that my legislation hopes to
I'm curious.
accomplish.
I'm curious to see what you filed and what it does. That would be a great deal to find out kind of where you're headed at with it.
Sure, and it's available online. If you look under the bill search, look up my name and you'll see it. And so, look, there's a lot of Moon. You covered it well, and I thank you. You covered all the wrong things with this deal. So I try to respond with legislation to cover most of it. So 4 key measures to prevent these future proposals from compromising our well-being and our assured. But number one, first off the bat, we got to prohibit economic benefits for the board members. So again, my bill is going to unequivocally, in the legislation, prohibit members of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Board of Directors from receiving any form of economic benefit if a sale goes through.
By the way, thank you
Moon.
for that one.
Yeah,
thank you for that one. That to me is what made people lose their minds. I thought that was the big part of what made people really angry about this.
No, you're right. And so off the top, again, it's a long bill, but off the top, the number one, not number one, but in terms of priority, that was the first thing. So it's essential that we ensure that these decisions that are made by this board are solely in the interest of the people of Louisiana and not influenced by personal gain.
Can I stop you again? Can I stop you?
Sure.
When you look at what you're doing, I'm just kind of curious if you think Blue Cross has a right to sell one day, but you're just going to put some parameters on it. Am I correct by saying that?
That's correct. They're currently a mutual. If they want to demutualize and sell, that's their prerogative. It's up to the policyholders, right? The 95,000 policyholders. But to your point, I just want to put some safeguards, some rails in place to where something like this doesn't happen again, where it's completely slanted to the CEO and the board of directors and not the policyholders.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's number one. And by the way, fiduciary duty, what I just told you, that typically comes with the proper fiduciary duty, but we needed to spell it out in the legislation to make sure it doesn't happen again. Number two, there was a lot of issues with the way the voting was taking place. So we want to eliminate this verbal phone voting. It was this push poll. I mean, I had constituents call me saying, hey, I just got a call from Blue Cross asking if I voted. I told them no, and then they proceeded to tell me how wonderful this deal is. And, oh, by the way, I can take your vote right now, and you get $3,000. Can I get your vote right now over the phone? And, look, it's not unheard of. I know when people sell stock and something like that, you can do it over the phone. But what we're going to do is enhance the transparency and accountability in this process. And so if you're going to do some vote, it has to be by mail, in person, by email. We're going to have all the parameters in place spelled out in the law on how this. You can't just simply take a verbal phone voting. You got to be able to have it written down and verified by the voter. So hopefully that'll eliminate and enhance the transparency and accountability around this whole voting process, which we still to this day have no clue what the voting looks like. We're told that they didn't have the votes. That's why they pulled the plug on it. But, I mean, isn't that something? I mean, the board of directors is in there counting the votes, and then they figure they don't have it, so they pull the plug on it. Okay. Anyhow, so this will enhance that transparency around that whole voting process, Moon. If I get number three, and this is an important one, safeguarding the financial interest. Not only safeguarding the voting rights of the people, of the policyholders, it's going to safeguard the voting rights and the financial interest of mutual members. That will be in the law. The reason that's important, Moon, if anyone is bored, they want to read some fun stuff, go look up the Howes report, Hause. It was done by an actuary, a non-biased actuary who's been doing it for decades. And he looked into this deal and he did a financial analysis. And he said, something stinks about this deal. Something's wrong when the board of directors, the CEO, is saying that these mutual members only have voting rights. They have no financial interest, is what the Blue Cross deal was trying to tell the people, the policyholders. Hey, by the way, policyholders, you have no financial interest. All you can do is vote up or down. Well, if that's the case, Moon, why would they bribe them with $3,000? Yeah. Because they wanted to have a yes vote. But if you read the Howes report, they spell it out. In his decades of doing it, this actuary, he has never seen a mutual demutualized with only voting rights. It's always voting rights plus the financial interest. Otherwise, what's the point of the whole thing? Yeah. And so we wanted to make sure that we're safeguarding the financial interest. And by the way, this deal would have been a 9% payout to these policyholders, 9% only. Normally, when you sell a business, Moon, if I were to sell my business today, I would expect to get 100% of the proceeds of the sale, not 9%.
Absolutely.
And by the way, according to Blue Cross, the board of directors, they didn't even have to give the 9% because all they were due were voting rights. They could vote yes or no. You get nothing out of it. But that was a little land gap because
$3,000 to me, because I'm a policyholder. I got to vote. $3,000 to me was, and I'm just going to be blunt. I love Blue Cross Blue Shield. I think they've done a good job in this country, in this state. But I thought it was a bribe to me to vote, and it was an insult. When give you $3,000. By the way, that just pays for my premium for 1 month. So it was an insult. You don't give me $3,000 to vote the way you want me to vote? That don't make any sense. I just red flags shot up on that for me.
Well, if you're reading this, and to your point, if you're reading what Blue Cross was claiming, which was, Moon, you don't have financial interest in this deal. Even though you're a mutual member, all you got is a voting right.
Yeah.
So by them to give you the $3,000, you could very well say it was a problem because they owed you nothing, according to them.
Yeah.
But this actuary said, this is crazy. In all years of doing this, when you demutualize, they have voting rights and financial interests. And the payout was only, again, 9%, which they didn't even have to give you.
Yeah.
And so that's going to clear up the language to show that and safeguard the financial interest of these mutual members. And that's an important point.
Absolutely.
And then it'll lastly just have a retroactive and a prospective application. So if a deal does rear its ugly head before the governor hopefully signs this thing into law and the legislature passes it, if it happens to rear its ugly head between now and I believe this takes effect upon signature of the governor, anything if indeed something takes place, it will be retroactive and will apply to these past concerns.
Let me do this. I'm going to take a break and give you just about 5 more minutes just to Q&A off what you said. And I'll let you get out of here, if you don't mind. Senator Jeremy Stein, our special guest, talking about the Blue Cross Blue Shield deal and also talking about a bill that he's bringing forward. We'll check with him and see will he have the votes to get this done. All right, we'll take a break, be back. One more segment with him, Matt Moscona at 9:34. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could? Protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases. Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Honored to have Senator Jeremy Stein join us, dealing with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Jeremy, I heard all the things that you're trying to do, and I hadn't heard you say anything that I disagree with. The question is, have you talked to enough people you feel like this is something that can fly through? I think if it flew through, the governor would sign it. And number two, I want to make sure people know you're not cutting Blue Cross Blue Shield. What you're doing is basically saying, look, we got to put some parameters on this because it looked like there was some people that got some brother-in-law deals, going to make a lot of money on the side. And that is what broke the deal with me. I know they got a right to go do it. Nobody's saying they don't. We hope they don't. But you're trying to put some parameters on it, and I'm hoping that you'll have the votes and the people behind you on this deal.
We are absolutely confident of that, Moon. And hats off to the Senate Insurance Committee and the Senate Health and Welfare Committee. Most of those senators on both of those committees spoke up during not just the first hearing we had back in August, but this last one we had, which put it to bed for the second time. But I want to say most, if not all, of those committee members spoke up and really had some excellent questions. So they are absolutely in favor, and just by their line of questioning, of putting these safeguards in place. And again, if you look at the legislation, it's not. It doesn't specifically say Blue Cross. It says mutuals, and so it's going to apply to not just Blue Cross, but any mutual insurance company in the legislation. So it's pointed at what just happened, but it's going to put safeguards in place for now and the future.
Yeah, but not saying it can't sell. You get it. You understand. We understand the future. By the way, I had Senator Kirk Talbot, on the program about this. It was Ash Wednesday. And I said, Kurt, I'm going to turn around and give credit where credit's due this time. I'm going to give elected officials credit for standing up and asking a question. And Kurt goes, hold up. I want to write this down. You going to give elected officials credit, and it's on Ash Wednesday. And he said, I can't believe you did it. I said, well, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn. Not in, but no, it did. I mean, look, listen to me. You, and I mentioned you many times, you and Talbot, and there were some other ones that probably get mad for not mentioning them, but several people, the committee, I thought was a turning point was when they had the meetings with the Senate and the House joint. I think it was with the joint committees, and they were asking these questions. They were asking some dang good questions, and I got to give credit where credit is due. I think because elected officials did stand up and said, no, hold up just a second. I think it's why it got beat more than anything else. Now, there were a lot of people I was talking about it 2 or 3 weeks before that. But what I'm saying is I think all that stuff played into it to getting the decision that finally came down to, hey, we're going to shut this down.
No, there's no question. And by the way, I got to go find that archive of you giving us props and save it somewhere. but in all seriousness, look, as much as it's kudos to the legislature, it's kudos to you and others across the state that really shined the light on this thing. You've been hammering it, I think, since we got started on this thing since the summer. I mean, we've been at this a while.
Yep,
and if it weren't for folks like yourself putting the pressure on it and really bringing light to this thing to all the constituents across the state, I don't know if we would have had the success that we had. So, and I just want to say that I failed to mention the Senate bill number, Moon. It's Senate Bill 289, and you can find that
289
again at legis.289, Senate Bill 289, and you can find it at legis.la.gov. And it's a simple search. You can search for either for my name or the bill number. And,
now, do you already
so you can read it.
Do you already have a counterpart in the House? Or are you just going to get this passed Senate? How's that going to work?
Not yet. I'm going to be talking to some folks from both the Senate and the House for co-authors, and I haven't selected who to carry it on the House side. I don't want to put the cart before the horse on that. I want to make sure that we got the right support that we need on the Senate side, and I'm going to start to work the phones on that between now and Monday, and hopefully we'll have some success on the Senate side, and by the time it gets to the House, we'll have a game plan in order for that as well.
But Jeremy Stein, my special guest, Senator Stein, and I want to say it again, this is not a cut on the job Blue Cross has done through many, many years. This is not. This all has to do with the selling of it and everything around the selling of it and the way it was campaigned and the money that was spent. It has nothing to do with Blue Cross not being a really good company in Louisiana, because I know people, they want to talk, well, you're talking bad. It's not what you did. You were trying to help the Louisiana citizens and the taxpayers and the policyholders.
That's right. And I agree with you. I mean, it's the Blue Cross, the company is actually well run. I think this was just a bad move, a big blunder. And look, they've got 50% of the market share. They're doing something right. And look, to the Elevance or Anthem, whatever they want to call themselves, if they want to come compete, come on, come to the state of Louisiana, show us how good you are, and compete in the marketplace if you're that great. But in the meantime, I think with Blue Cross, the way it is as a mutual, seems to be working just fine.
By the way, Elevance does not need Blue Cross Blue Shield to come here and compete if they want to. They can come start their own deal and roll, can't they?
As far as I understand it.
Aren't we looking for companies to come in here and compete?
Well, yeah. We got to, absolutely. So, but, with Blue Cross, again, you've got $1.8 billion in reserves. If you got just like any company, just like whether it's Steins or you name the company, the best CEOs in the world know how to deploy their capital properly. And if you're sitting on that much reserves, you either help buy down some of the premiums for the members, or you deploy it in such a way that you ensure a healthy future for the company and its members. That's what you do with the company.
Yep.
So,
Senator Stein, got to go. Thank you. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you, man.
All right. Matt Moscona next. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem, we got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com, and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say All Field, that's ALL Field.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, with over 50 years' experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. Whether it's production equipment, control valves, controller, glyco pumps, chemical pumps, chokes, Wilden pumps, Barton recorders, All Field has new, rebuilt, and parts. All Field handles some of the industry's top brands such as Norseal, Fisher, and Kimray. On the supply side, All Field has anything from Q-tips to appliances to general All Field supplies. All Field is one of the largest suppliers of bottled water in the Gulf. And remember, All Field never changes transportation. Like the name says, All Field has it all, covering the Architects area and the Gulf of Mexico. All Field Equipment, 337-837-1003, 337-837-1003.
Shastall Group. This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% List Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline, the most nonpartisan, non-political show on the air today. And if I say that, my next guest is Matt Moscona. If I'm the most nonpartisan, non-political show, I wonder what you would say about yours. Matt?
Well, you know I don't do politics, but I certainly have no problem telling people my opinion.
Oh, I know you don't. I'm just messing with you. Matt Moscona, you can hear him statewide, folks. He's all over. He covers sports. He covers a lot of the sports. Big time show, does great. But I was listening to him yesterday, and you know, Matt, I texted you and I said, Matt, that was right on the money. Caitlin Clark, what she did is awesome. It's awesome for the girls' sport. It's awesome what this lady has taught herself and had to practice to be as good as she is. I heard you say you didn't hear about her last year until she played against South Carolina. I agree. I watched it toward the end. Yeah. But I just think you had a great take, and I want you to give your take here because I think you like – I was saying the same thing. Man, she did great. Let's leave that over there where it belongs. It's great. It's awesome. She should be celebrated. But then you bring up the Pistol Pete story, but that's something totally different. But kind of give us your little take on it because I thought your take was awesome.
Well, I think one of the things in my corner of the media world in sports that is really annoying is how we've gotten to this point where everything needs to be contentious. And, you know, what Caitlin Clark achieved is magnificent. I mean, the NCAA sanctioned women's basketball in 1982. So in 42 years of women's basketball, no one has scored more points than Caitlin Clark. That is, by any measure, an amazing feat in any sport, anything. You do something that nobody else has done in nearly a half a century, that is, by definition, amazing. And it should stop there, Moon. Like, it should be period, like hard stop, full stop, end. Like, celebrate Caitlin Clark. But they start to draw this comparison to Pete Maravich, and all that does now is create this contentious argument about Caitlin Clark versus Pete Maravich, which is nonsensical. And every time someone brings up, well, Pete did it in 3 years because freshmen couldn't play, or Pete did it without a shot clock, or Pete did it without a three-point line, all of that is true, but it also doesn't matter. Like, what Caitlin Clark did is amazing, and what Pete Maravich did is amazing. The reason it doesn't matter is because she's a woman and he's a man. Like, the NCAA does not have a joint record book. I don't know that people really understand that. Like, there is nowhere, anywhere in the NCAA record book where they combine men's and women's statistics. They're separated for a very obvious reason. Mm-hmm. Men and women are different. So let what Caitlin Clark did be amazing, and let what Pete Maravich did be amazing, because when you try to compare the two, all it's going to do is create a very contentious argument. Yeah. And in so doing, you end up downplaying someone who did something amazing. Like, the fact that people are in any way minimizing what Caitlin Clark did sucks, because what she did is amazing. But it's all bred out of this need to try to compare and generate controversy and argument, and that's just stupid. I just hate that.
Yeah, and one of the arguments that I disagree. Matt Moscona, my special guest. Matt, you can hear Matt all over the state of Louisiana and beyond. Matt, one of the things that I kind of laugh at sometimes, people always talk about the GOAT and the greatest of all time in a sport. I laugh at that. There's absolutely no such thing. Now, there's an opinion of the greatest of all time, but there's really no greatest of all time, because people play in different eras, different rules, different this, different that. And I kind of put that argument in this so it gets contentious. Everybody's arguing about who the best, Michael Jordan, LeBron, and we go on and on with this. But I think that's why when I heard you say it, it was really good, because you're allowing Pete with the Magic. And by the way, you're a gigantic LSU fan. You never got to see him play. I only saw him in film myself, and I'm older than you. But we enjoyed that. But then here's a young lady that really did something really good, and then we got everybody in between arguing about it. And then pretty soon it looked like what she did wasn't nothing. Or what Pete did, big deal. And that's, I think that's the point you're trying to make. They both were great. Let them be.
And whenever you create the controversy because what happens in Moon is, if you're trying in trying to make the point in elevating one, in turn, even if indirectly, you're minimizing the impact of the other, which shouldn't be the case, because they're not the same. Like, an example I gave is O.J. Simpson. Before he became a murderer, O.J. Simpson was an amazing football player. Absolutely. And had a 2,000-yard rushing season in 14 NFL. The NFL plays 17 games now. Yep. And you've had running backs, Chris Johnson and Adrian Peterson, have 2,000-yard seasons, Eric Dickerson, in a 16-game season. Well, if O.J. had 2 or 3 more games, maybe his record never falls. But games change and times evolve and records are broken, and that's fine, and you acknowledge that. Like, the kid last year from Detroit Mercy who came 3 points away from breaking Pete's record. And, like, had he done it, you would have had to honor that. And even though he had a 5th year because of COVID, it's no different than leagues that play more games. I mean, look, it's like college football now. I mean, you can play 15 games and bowl stats. Remember, even the 2001 LSU football season, the Rohan Davey, Josh Reed year, bowl stats didn't count then. Yeah. If Josh Reed, the 200 yards receiving he had in the bowl game against Illinois that year, he'd be LSU's single-season receiving record holder. Not Jamar Chase. But times change and so things happen. But at least you could look at that and say they were playing the same game. Yeah. They were both playing, Division I college football. Yeah. Caitlin Clark and Pete Maravich aren't playing the same game. Like, there's men's basketball and there's women's basketball, and they're notably different, and so they should be celebrated and recognized as such, not against one another.
But you brought up something else yesterday, that women's college basketball is not even a sport until like 12 or 14 years after Pete Maravich had already played.
Yeah, Pete's career ended in 1970, and women's college basketball didn't become sanctioned in the NCAA until 1982. So it certainly speaks to the test of time of Pete's record, but also you're talking about a women's college game that is still growing. And by the way, Moon, like, that's an amazing thing. Like, when you think back to, a year ago when LSU's women went on that run and they won the national title, and the LSU-Iowa game became the most viewed women's basketball game ever, and it went viral, and my goodness, they're being, parodied on Saturday Night Live, and they transcended the game and were on every, not just sports network, but news network. Like, that was an amazing growth moment for a sport that is still growing, which is another reason why it's silly to try to compare the two. So I'm just, more than anything, Moon, it annoys me when we can't just have a sensible conversation where everything has to become a contentious argument.
By the way,
when you do it, you end up minimizing a great accomplishment. I hate to see that.
Yeah, by the way, you ought to be in my media world. If you tell somebody hi wrong, whoop, you in trouble. Yes, sir.
Well, you remember, you and I met 20-some-odd years ago when I was doing news radio, and there's a reason I do sports now.
Yeah, you
there's
got
a
smart.
reason I got off your playground.
Hey, you heard me? You got smart. That's all. Just saying. Go ahead. I'm okay with it. You got smart, and I never did. That would be. Matter of fact, what's sad? I tell people all the time, people in the sports world like you and people that are calling football games and all that, that was my dream job. That was my dream. Matter of fact, I'll give you a quick story. ULM, Dr. Frank Hoffman ran and won the office. And I know you know a guy named Stan Humphries. And they came to Stan and me, and we were going to be the new 1-2 punch at ULM. And I ended up backing out because I had too much going on with this. But I said, I'm turning down my dream job. I could have left all this. I had an opportunity to go be an opportunity, and I thought, man, I said, I had 4 kids at home, and I said, I'm taking a big chance. And I said, I don't know if my career can take a big chance. So I didn't do it. But no, I look, and I like to do sports here now and then. We're going to have you back, get close to football season especially. But I do like to take. I do think you're spot on. I got people texting me, Matt's right. We just get too bogged down in stuff that means nothing. When Pete Maravich did was unbelievable. What Kalen Clark did was phenomenal too. Okay, enjoy him. That's all you're saying. And you get mad because, like you said, I deal in politics. Grass ain't green. It's always like this. But you're right. I just thought it was simple the way you put it, and that's why I asked you to come on. And I appreciate it, man. I really do. And you always have a little bit of fun with me, and I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Moon, man. Thanks for calling anytime.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it. Matt Moscona, folks. Just Google his name. You can find him on all the radio programs all over the place. Matt, God bless. Thank you, man.
Okay, Moon. We'll see you soon, man.
All right. Thank you, bud. All right, let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Just the political world we live. See, Matt don't want to play in the political world. But he's got to be in the political world because everything he's having to deal with stuff like this becomes political. Unbelievable. He's turned everything into politics, but he don't want that world, and I don't blame him. It's a tough world. All righty. We'll be right back. More to come on the Moon Griffon Show. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwood stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. Their corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
Here's another tip for
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. If you'd like to be part of the program, it is a Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Hey, I do want to mention again, I'll have a Ragin' Cajun seasoning gift package I'll be giving away at the end of the program. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com, say you want to win, but you also need to make sure you leave an address because I'll pick one at the end of the 10 o'clock hour before the 11 o'clock hour starts. And so if you want to win, just email me and say you want to win. They want to give away a package and a gift package once a week. But since I didn't do it on Friday, we'll do it again this Friday. So the day of this Friday, have to register both times. I'm not accumulating like I normally do when we do stuff toward the end of the year. So I'm just letting you know. By the way, some people are hitting me with this, and I'd already printed it. Michelle Obama says she is not going to run for president. Let me ask y'all a question. Do politicians lie? Do politicians ever say anything and it's not true? I'm just asking. I don't really know. Do politicians lie? Do they ever say things and then all of a sudden they do the opposite the next day? I mean, I don't know if they do that. But and she's married to one of the slickest elected officials of all time in Barack, Satan's brother. So I'm sticking to my guns. She could be playing a little rope-a-dope. Y'all leave me alone. I'm not running. Y'all don't have to look at me. Won't run for president. Office confirms. By the way, I'm going to just say this to people. I'm going to read the headline. Michelle Obama won't run for president. Office says. All you got to do is, my office should have never said that. Her office said that. So I'm just telling you, her office said that. Doesn't mean she said that. It's always a slick move, and most people fall for it. I think if Michelle doesn't run, it's going to be somebody like her. I do not think the guy that's currently called the President of the United States can run for president. I just don't see it any way, shape, or form. I got a big story on inflation, folks, and I've been telling you, I'd rather have a tax increase than inflation. And restaurants will be the next ones that really start having to struggle because the prices are getting so high. Not cutting restaurants. Restaurants are trying to stay in business. I get it. But, man, the way they're printing money and spending money, it's absolutely no way that prices won't continue to skyrocket on everything. Insurance, rent on buildings, all the stuff. When people are building buildings, everything's skyrocketing. Interest rates are high. All by design, all designed by the left. And they love it. They don't have a problem with it. They just think they can. Here's the problem. We get in trouble. Any one thing goes wrong now, we get in trouble. You know what the first thing they're going to do to bail us out? Print even more money. That's what happens. Every country's done this, where you can't only pay for stuff. Let's go to Troy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Troy, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, Moon. How you doing today?
Doing fine, sir. Good to hear from you.
I think that you and Matt are still both missing it.
All right.
When it comes to the Caitlin Clark. think that the reason why they feel free to try to let men play in women's sports because of the argument you all just had. Because if you don't make the distinction between men and women, I mean, that's why they do what they do.
Hold up, I think you misread. No, I think you misread it.
Comparing Caitlin Clark to Pistol Pete Maravich is stupid. I'm sorry, that's dumb.
You misunderstood what me and Matt was saying. Matt is saying it's stupid for us to be talking about this when Pete should be celebrated and Caitlin Clark should be celebrated for what she did on the women's side. Men and women are different.
But people are not making that distinction.
No. What I'm saying is, I think, Troy, we just crossed our wires with you. I'm telling you what Matt said, and I believe the same thing. That's why I got him on. People are doing what you're saying. Exactly. And that's why he said he hates that. Because people are talking about something that makes no sense. What Pete did back then and what Caitlin Clark did now are great accomplishments. I think you and me would agree with that. We're saying nobody should be arguing this. It's kind of silly to argue. It's two different sports. It's men and women, but people are making all these comparisons. He's saying it's wrong to do that. He wasn't doing that.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is you agree with Matt. You agree with Matt. I agree with Matt. That we ought to not be having this contentious argument about this because a man's a man, a woman's a woman. They accomplished two great things, and you're lessening what she did by comparing it to Pete, and you're lessening what Pete did by comparing it to her. Let her record stand. Let his record stand. Let's move forward, celebrate, and move on. That's what Matt's saying.
But I just think that the distinction should be made that he did it in the men's sport and she did it in the women's sport.
But he said that.
Of college basketball.
Yes, sir. He said that. And you heard him say something else. He said there was no...
I've been hearing...
No, listen to me,
I've been
Troy.
hearing with people... I know what I've heard, people say that she's the leading scorer in college basketball. She's the leading scorer in women's college basketball.
And by the way...
Let's make that distinction.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, and Matt was too. He just think the contention starts when we're trying to say they're equal because they're not. Now, by the way, when we say they're not equal, we didn't say one was better than the other one. We just said they're not equal because you don't have the same. Nothing's the same, and so you don't even. But his deal is, why are we talking about this and fussing back and forth about it when there's really no comparison? So Matt is really saying what you're saying, Troy. I think what you're doing is you're hearing all these other people and you're watching ESPN and all that stuff, and they're the ones doing all that crazy crap.
No, really, Ashley Moon, I don't watch ESPN. I gave up on them a long time.
Yeah, me and you
ago,
both. I watched some of the games, but I don't.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't watch SportsCenter and all that no more. I mean, I can't watch it. It's absolutely.
I'm about to
crazy.
cut out NFL football because it's totally just gone. They didn't gone by the wayside. You know, they just. Yeah. I just don't know, Moon.
I just want to make sure before you leave, you understand Matt was saying the same thing you're saying. I just want to let you know he was saying that. It's two different things.
All right.
I'm going to take up for him because that's.
I just want to make sure because I was like, ooh, good.
No. It's why I called him because he had a disdain for people doing what you're saying they're doing. He just said, man, it just irks him to no end. It irks me too.
I mean, on this grand scheme of things, there's no comparison compared men to women when it comes to sport.
Nope.
And people need to stop.
By the way,
it just don't make any sense.
It's not, and I agree. But our new world that we living in now, men can have babies.
I just tell people, for people who have young daughters or whatever, there's no way my daughter would ever play against a man. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
By the way, they shouldn't. Hey, I got to go, Troy. God bless. Thanks for the call.
All right, then. All right, Moon. You take it easy.
Yes, sir. Take care. We'll take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go nowhere. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.one and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.one and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.one.
A show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
865 delegates up for grabs. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Those are in 15 contests for Republicans, with Nikki Haley still challenging former President Trump. Haley has this contest that says that she is not going to be out of this race. People have to have a chance on Super Tuesday. Former President Trump tells Fox,
there's no path for her to win, no matter what. Now, today, I should win, hopefully, every state. I won North Dakota last night.
He got 84% of the vote in those caucuses. So the former president says he's focused on November now.
I want everybody to come together. We're going to have a unified party because our real opponent happens to be named Biden.
Now, the president is expected to win today's Democratic contest, and Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports from the White House.
Biden's team thinks the risk to democracy supersedes voter concerns about his age, and for them, the longer Nikki Haley stays in the race, the better. But today, there are 7 states voting that have an uncommitted option on the Democratic primary ballot, and that will be a good measure of Biden's problems with the Muslim and Arab American communities.
13% of Democrats in Michigan chose uncommitted, protesting the president's support for Israel in the war in Gaza. He is pushing for a ceasefire there, while at the same time the U.S. military teamed with Jordan to airdrop today more humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians caught in the Israel versus Hamas crossfire, delivering about 37,000 meals. Here's something else the Biden administration's doing.
The White House is issuing a rule to cap all credit card late fees in a move regulators believe will save Americans up to $10 billion a year. It sets a ceiling of $8 for most credit card late fees, or will require banks to show why there should be a charge of more than that.
Well, that's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. The president's also forming what he calls a task force, a strike force, to target what he considers unfair pricing Americans are paying on everything from groceries to health care. Republicans blame Biden policies for the recent spike in inflation. America's listening to Fox News.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light, featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at Eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hey, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. It is a Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Our good friends at MatthewJames.com. MatthewJames.com. Somebody made a point. Michelle Obama only runs if she has to. Yeah, but she may not want to run. But when it gets down to it, that's all they got. Remember, this was a press release from the office. Not her getting on stage saying she ain't running. But you're right. I think she runs if they got nobody else they could run and win. I just don't see a Biden-Trump rematch. I might be wrong, but I don't see a Biden-Trump rematch. It's hard for me to believe that Joe Biden can stand up there and brag. As a matter of fact, the sad thing about it is, and I've said this many times, whoever the Democrat nominee is, they might not have Joe Biden's half a brain, but they're going to believe every policy that he made. They sticking with it, every single thing, and they're not backing up from not one. They may run against that because they know they can fool their voters. It's easy to fool a Democrat Party voter. That's easy. So they know they can fool their voters. That's not a problem. They can convince them. They start hollering racism. They can convince voters they better vote for a Democrat. I get it. But we'll just have to wait and see. I just think that the convention is when everything's going to happen. And meanwhile, the courts, maybe even the Supreme Court, will still try to pound Donald Trump into the ground. And that's just the way we're going to have to. We're going to have to go with it. They're going to try to get him through the court system. Once again, they'll do anything they have to do to him not to win. They have all the support of China, the Chi-Cons, the communist governments, and everywhere around the world. I don't want Trump back in. They're scared of him because they know he's going to quit doing the craziness that we've bought into. Folks, I've been talking about this, and this goes for the state and nation, but I've been talking about this inflation. And for years, I've been doing this. I'm in my 31st year. Inflation is the throat cutter when it comes to destroying a country. Now, here's what happens. So we had COVID come along, and I'm not convinced at all anymore that COVID was not much more than a virus. And somebody can call me and say that they had a loved one die, and I got sympathy for you. But just everything around COVID still bothers me. But the money they printed, the debt that was run up since then is absolutely outrageous. For us not to have parts and hard to get things still is all done by design. None of that is accidental. When they start printing that money, they don't want to stop now. And I've shared this with you. The reason that we're having these inflation, folks, is devastating. Your savings accounts, your money, your spending power, businesses and stuff like that. And we're starting to see some of this stuff come into play. And when it comes into play, it ain't going to be pretty. And I'm not a doom and gloom. I'm just telling you reality. I'm being real blunt with the American people and the people of Louisiana. Inflation, and then what happens is, so we had this thing called COVID come through, and now COVID's gone, and we're still printing money. The Democrats will not let go of printing money. They don't care. There's economists out there, the Democrats said, it don't matter how much debt you run up with. BS. When you're printing the money, it's causing inflation. You got to remember, somebody just reminded me, inflation doesn't count the sales tax. We're 10% in Louisiana, basically. I think we average 9.55, the highest in the country. So when inflation comes on something you was buying for $100, now you're buying for $120, 10% on that is 10% more taxes on the 120, not the 100. More money out of your pocket. Utility bills, energy bills, more money out of your pocket. So everything is skyrocketing. It's the middle class. I read a deal the other day, the middle class. There's 5 things they're not going to be able to buy up the road. One was a vehicle. One was taking a vacation. And there were several other things because of inflation. Well, inflation can be stopped, quit printing money. But the Democrats and some Republicans won't quit spending money in Washington, D.C. They are directly causing your price of everything to skyrocket. Now, folks, What's the first rule in digging a ditch? Quit digging when you're getting too deep. Quit it. Why don't they quit spending? Why can't they stop? Because they've suckered in so many people to depend on them. So many. Inflation causes restaurant owner to charge nearly $16 for a sandwich. Well, Restaurant Investment Group founder and CEO Brian Will described the impact inflation has on his business. Inflation driving force behind many of the challenges businesses face today. A BLT sandwich, $16. $16. And I'm just telling you where this is coming from. You got to look toward the government as the problem. The federal government is the problem. They're a gigantic problem. We don't see that. We're jumping around. We get money at the University of Lafayette, and we get to go do Green New Deal crap. They ain't going to never get all that money. There's no way for them to get the money. The money's going to dry up. But what they're doing is at the house, when you go to the grocery store and you go to the restaurants and you go to buy something. I went over today to buy some poison that was for my ditch. It was $60 last year, $80. $80 this year. This is really nailing people. And don't let them tell you it's because of Republicans or white people and Christians. It's because of Democrats that won't quit spending and printing the money. That causes inflation. If you have a half a brain and you understood anything you learned in school, that's what's causing this, folks. The spending and inflating of the dollar. This is hurting us. I'd rather pay a 1 cent sales tax than a 30% inflation rate, wouldn't you? And then when it does, it causes everything to go up. Pretty soon, government going to say, we ain't got enough money. We need some more taxes. Well, sure you don't. But you take that damn federal money, don't you? You take that federal money every time they print it. Every time they borrow it, you take it. And so when I see all these grants being given out to universities, I fall out laughing. It's causing prices to go higher. And I told you, I asked these so-called experts in the Green New Deal, ask them, when are prices going to fall? When is carbon capture going to lower prices? Windmills, solar panels, more money going to universities? When is all this going to, when is all this stuff supposed to slow down and fall? I think it's a great question, folks. CEO Stu Leonard. Well, he spends $20,000 a month on renting a space that houses one restaurant in a new mixed-use development. His utilities are $6,000 a month. His labor is $60,000. He's got to turn $86,000 before he can open the door. 32% food costs. It's going to be a different economy, folks, because the government cannot spend our way to prosperity. And let's say we get into a war. Where are we going to get the money from? That's all I want to know is where are we going to get the money from? So I'm sitting here going, yes, National Debt Tracker. I want to share this with you. $34.4 trillion. Okay. You ready for this? The Congressional Budget Office says that the national debt will grow to an astonishing $54 trillion in the next 5 to 10 years. Higher interest rates coming to. Well, we can't. We got to get rid of Biden. We got to get rid of whoever the Democrat is. You got to get rid of him. And the Republicans need to understand. Quit spending. Start cutting. You got to start doing it. Where you have people crying and wailing. So what? Only the people that are dependent on government are the ones that are going to be crying, not the average person. But they're going to take away Social Security. That's what people paid for. People earn their Social Security. You shouldn't take that away from them. Michael Peterson, CEO of Peter G. Peterson Foundation, advocate for reducing the federal debt, America's fiscal outlook is more dangerous and daunting than ever, threatening our economy and the next generation. And here we are watching them negotiate budget deals so the Democrats can spend even more money. This doesn't make any sense. All this Green New Deal spending. And I see Lafayette and LSU and all these people jumping up down with grant. We got 50 states doing that. $54 trillion. Fitch Rating has issued a surprise downgrade in the nation's long-term credit score. Agency cut the U.S. debt by one notch, snatching away a pristine AAA rating in exchange for a AA plus grade. Fitch cited alarm over the country's deteriorating finances and expressed concern over the government's ability to address ballooning debt burden and sharp political divisions. The Democrats want to spend. When are we voting them out of office? When will people wake up in California and New York and get rid of these people? These people are nuts. They're sick. You don't do what they do. This is all by design, folks. This is a warning shot across the U.S. government bow that it needs to right its fiscal ship. You can't do it if you're printing money. You can't just spend trillions of dollars more than you have in revenue every year and expect no ill consequences. But look, I've been hollering about this about the state of Louisiana, and I've been hollering about this for the federal government, and they keep doing the same thing. No change in sight. And here's the sad part. Americans are stepping up to the plate and taking every penny the government will give them. Yeah, they said, well, Trump did $7.5 trillion. Trump went through COVID. That was $6 trillion of it. And it said at the same time, Trump only did $2.5 trillion at the same time you take out COVID. Biden is repeatedly defended by spending by his administration, boasting about cutting the deficit $1.7 trillion. When did that happen? But then again, that's Biden's brain power. Not a whole lot there. Not a whole lot there. So anyway, that is, I just wanted to share with you. You can call me crazy. You can call me, well, you shouldn't be talking about it. Let's be positive. Let's all everybody keep running them credit cards up. Go on with your bad self. Go enjoy it. Wait to see what happens in the big picture. Anyway, I got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show right after this. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.One and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.One and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.One. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you, or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC service repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Everywhere you
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. Somebody made a good point. Should be easy to Louisiana get rid of the 0.45 sales tax. Prices have increased 19% since they passed the tax. That means if something was costing 100, it's 119 or 120, even it out. They got more sales tax. It's I'll be surprised they get rid of 0.45. I'm hoping we'll help our people by getting rid of some taxes so people can take their money and enjoy it. I wish we'd quit worrying about government, how much government has. Make sure government's got money. And everybody knows that this country has flipped its lid since COVID. And then the Democrats took over and it's really, really flipped it. You know? I was reading more than 8 million illegal aliens will live freely in the U.S. while waiting deportation by the end of 2024. 8 million. By the way, that's 8 million. Number's probably 12 million. And no end in sight is stopping something that Biden and them could have done, Trump was trying to do. People. I saw what Joe Biden's sanctuary country orders cut loose illegal alien wanted for rape. President Biden's so-called sanctuary country orders ensure that all an illegal alien wanted for rape in the sanctuary state of Oregon and already ordered deported from the United States was not immediately taken in immigration customs. 26-year-old illegal from Guatemala raped. 3 counts of rape and sexual assault, just running free. That's a Joe Biden's world. That would be a Michelle Obama, too. There is no difference. There's no difference at all. None whatsoever. I mean, when you think about it, none. By the way, I'm still laughing. The article yesterday, maybe this wasn't in the Advocate. I forgot where it was at. And this was the headlines. LSU, Southern, other colleges, companies seek climate answers. This is the Advocate.com. Climate answers. Yeah, quit doing what y'all doing. Y'all spending money we don't need to spend. Could Louisiana be the Silicon Valley of green energy? Huge LSU-led grant pushes for it. Silicon Valley. Oh, my God. Was Silicon Valley built with federal money? Maybe it was. I'm asking. I don't know. Was Silicon Valley built with federal money, which is your tax dollars and my tax dollars? Is that how it was built? I always thought most people wanted to get out of California because of the taxes and the craziness that's going on over there. Anyway, Silicon Valley in Louisiana, get real. There's nothing real about that. I'm okay. I'm gonna have to get to be where I'm okay with this because me talking about it and getting on it and challenging it, these people that are taking this money don't really give a rat's rear in what I think. And it ain't what I think, it's what I know is what scares them. We have no chance of being some Silicon Valley for green energy. I know Bell Edwards and a lot of his people that worked around him are going to make a fortune off of this money. I look for all this stuff to fail. Remember, I just shared national debt going to $54 trillion. Next decade, $54 trillion. We're going to be at $35 trillion before the month's over. Sooner or later, this money ain't coming in. And I want y'all to remember a guy that don't know nothing sitting on a radio, for what do I know, told y'all this was going to fall. That told y'all this would never happen. That told y'all this can't happen. That told y'all it's going to break us. I got another article with the electric dreams, market realities, the EVs, And they finally call it what it is, Marxism and communism. I'm glad to see other articles out there. And it ain't just me, because I'm not crazy. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And these people that are pushing this are Looney Tunes. But look at the Looney Tunes that are taking the money. They're just as guilty. A lot of them, my friends. I mean, I'm just telling you, this is so off the chart crazy. We'll be right back.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
Without the ones like this hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, and I'm just asking in public because I hadn't been following it. What does the sheriff's race look like in Caddo? I've not heard or seen anything. I'm just kind of curious about what's going on in a race where it was a one-vote margin and had some discrepancies, and they're redoing it again. And that is a big race, so I'm just kind of curious what's going on. All right, we're joined by Brandon Trosclay, ran for Secretary of State, and he's big into election and election integrity. Brandon, how you doing?
Man, Moon, I'm doing fantastic. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. All right, Brandon, so you got some bills that are being proposed, a bill being proposed in the legislature. Tell us what is the bill? What is the bill? What are you trying to get done? Or resolution or whatever you're trying to come to.
Yep, so we call it the Made in America Voting System Act, Moon. And as you know, I'm a big hand-marked secure paper ballot guy. But nonetheless, elections have consequences. And our new Secretary of State is dead set, like the last administration, on getting new voting machines for the people of Louisiana. And so what we're looking to do is have some standards to those machines. And so what we tell people all the time is, we know that our machines can be hacked and manipulated. That's been proven in court now by Alex Halderman using the very machine that we use here in Louisiana at court in Georgia. We know that the machines are made in foreign countries, many by our adversaries. And we also know that the machines have proprietary software. And so what the solution to that is, the Made in America Voting System Act is that all systems, hardware, and software shall be made in America and comply with Department of Defense critical infrastructure specs. Seems like a no-brainer to me, Moon. Election vendor ownership is made public, so we don't know who owns these companies like Dominion and ES&S currently right now. The third thing is all paper ballots or cast vote records or computer logs be made public to the public within 24 hours. And then the last thing is that we have open source software so we know what those codes are and it's not proprietary. All of those things seem like a no-brainer to me, Moon, and we've been making the rounds. We got a lot of support behind it. And usually the number one reaction from our lawmakers is, there's no way I can be against this. And I think they're absolutely right.
Tell me, are you trying to get a law passed, a resolution? What are you trying to get passed? And will it take the representatives and senators to get something done?
Yeah, well, it most certainly will take them to get done. This will have to go through government affairs and then be passed by the full House and the Senate. And so whether it's a resolution or a bill, we're still working the kinks out on that. There are certain ways that we can do it. I mean, this was done in Arizona, did it, Act 1037 over there, and they did it as a joint resolution, which it didn't need a signature from the governor. And, we would certainly like to include our governor on this and get his support to be for this. And so there's some debate going around on how it's exactly done, Moon, but we have the support there, and we think this is a no-brainer for the state of Louisiana, knowing that we're going to get new machines.
We definitely going to get new machines. Do you have, you ain't got to mention them, right? Do you have some senators or House members that are willing to run with the bill that you're talking about bringing?
Yeah, we have a lot of people on both sides, the House and the Senate, tons of support, and we do have some folks that have committed to being the sponsor for it, but they want to see the full bill in its legal way, how it's written, before we go out public with those names.
Let me ask this question.
That should be soon, hopefully very soon.
Your session's getting ready to start. How does this differ in what we're already doing compared to what we're going to start doing? Number one. And number two is, do they make the voting machines like you want made to do what you need to do?
Yeah, so there's three answers to that, Moon. Really is, A, we can let the free market enterprise work for itself. When the state of Louisiana puts out an RFP out there for tens of millions of dollars, the market will respond. That's number one. Two, there is a company up in Pennsylvania that already has a prototype for that very machine. But then three, my biggest thing is, why shouldn't ES&S or Dominion? I mean, they can come out and say who owns them, their company. They can come out and give us non-proprietary software. They can make machines that are made in America. They don't have to buy Chinese machines. So we're not trying to exclude Dominion or ES&S. We're just trying to say, hey, we're going to put some demands on this, and we're going to get machines. These are going to be some minimum demands, which our elected officials should have done in the past. But they didn't require those things from those vendors. So it absolutely can be done, and hopefully will be done soon, Moon.
Brandon Trosclair ran for Secretary of State. Okay, here's another one for you. Can you name another state that's doing what you want to do?
Again, as I mentioned, Arizona already passed last year, Arizona Bill 1037, and it says, and it is passed and enforced. And what it says is, if you order new machines, they have to have these minimum standards. So that's at least one of them out there that this is already taken into effect.
But they gotta order new machines. How long is it going to be before they order the new machines? I mean, in our case, I know they want to order them pretty soon. Huh?
Don't know, but same thing with us. Whenever we order new machines, we should be able to get them that are made in America, Moon.
Yep.
We should have open source software, Moon.
Yep. Oh, I'm not arguing, but when you sent this to me, I thought this is pretty interesting to see who's going to run with it. Mm-hmm. Does the current Secretary of State, Ms. Nancy Landry, does she have to get on board to get something like this? Or she does not even have to be involved?
she doesn't have to be involved. This is something that's going to be done through the legislature. Of course, we would like her and hope that she would support this. Not sure she will, but we're trying to set up a meeting there. But this is something that has to be done through the legislature.
Yeah, but and so the legislature can do it. But that's why I was wondering if the current Secretary of State is even looking at something like this.
I'm sure she has this information by now, and like I said, we are hoping to get her on board with this as well. So,
but this how does last thing? How does this change when people with their change, they don't like change? But how does this change if I go to vote an election? Does it change anything that the person voting has to do, or after they vote, what can they expect?
No, this is just something. This doesn't change on how you vote. This changes on the back end to where you're not working with Chinese machines. We're not working with machines that we know for a fact can be hacked, as David Halderman did in court in Georgia, and with proprietary software. That's where it changes. It changes the safety and security, and we think that it provides. 78% of Americans don't trust their elections. And I've told you that many times before. We think this is one step in the right direction for people to restore trust in our elections.
Yeah, the sheriff's race in Caddo, they couldn't.
Correct.
They couldn't go back and count all the votes. How does that work? Far as us having a system in place that we can now go back and find out and count votes and find out who voted for who.
Yeah, so this isn't, again, I'm a hand-marked secure paper ballot. That's the absolute best system you can go. This whole sheriff's race in Caddo would have been done and settled if we had hand-marked secure paper ballots. But again, this bill, knowing that we're going to get new machines, you're still going to have problems, Moon. You're still going to have vulnerabilities. It's not the end-all solution like hand-marked secure paper ballots are, but it just makes it a little bit more safer and secure than what we have now.
Brandon, let me ask you a question. Does it have a paper trail at all? Because I know talking to Nancy in the campaign, they were talking about you vote and you would have a paper ballot trail. How do we justify that? Rectify.
Yeah. So what Act 480 says is that we have to have a paper trail, and so what our Secretary of State has been, at least what she campaigned about, is a ballot marking device. We know that the 8 states that have ballot marking devices, including in Georgia, that the state has not allowed the citizens to audit those elections.
Wow.
And they still have proprietary software. They still have foreign-made parts and unknown ownership. Again, this isn't a final bill that just fixes all of our problems, but it's a step in the right direction. And so by having open source software, you can audit what that software says and not be proprietary and restore some level of trust in our elections. But hand-marked secure paper ballots, Moon, that's the end-all solution.
Yeah, it's just a shame because once we order these machines, I think the ones we got now, 20, 30, 40 years old, whatever they are. Once we order these machines, we're not going to turn around and order some new ones in 2 years. It just not work that way.
Yep, and that's why we're trying to get out in front of this now. Because the new machines, Moon, that we lease now for early voting, the new machines, those are the ones that Dr. Alex Halderman in court hacked with just a ballpoint pen in less than 10 minutes and has testified in court that he can hack them in at least 15 different ways. That's the new machine.
All right.
That's also the new machine made with foreign-made parts and hidden ownership and proprietary software. That's the new machines we're talking about in Louisiana, not the old clunkers.
I got to run because of time. Thank you. All right, we'll be right back. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun season. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC service repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah.
Looking for a place?
Hi, I'm EJ Williams. Each year, millions of animals are abandoned, and more than 1 million are euthanized before they can be rescued. Organizations like American Humane are working to harness the healing power of the human-animal bond, as animals can be trained as life-saving service and therapy dogs to help veterans, the elderly, and children with special needs to overcome the obstacles of everyday life. To find out how you can help give animals and the people they help a new leash on life, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moographone Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. We'll give away a Raging Cajun giveaway in a few minutes. I just got a text that said Nancy says these people are not correct about election integrity. And that's the Secretary of State. You know, I don't know. I hate the thought of us not being able to monitor elections after. I do. That does concern me. If we can monitor them, that's a whole different ballgame. Somebody just wrote, do you think Joe Biden's going to campaign if he runs for president? Well, I'll be shocked if he runs, but no, he's not. He didn't campaign last time. The media takes care and beat up Trump. That's what the American people could wake up, and just wake up. So, anyway, I'm getting some response. But anyway, all right, 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Supreme Court states Texas law that allows police to arrest, detain illegal migrants. Once again, they passed a law, Texas Senate Bill 4. They passed it in the Department of Justice. Joe Biden's Department of Justice did not allow Texas to arrest and detain illegal immigrants. Now, why would a president of the United States, Joe Biden, want to do that? Had 8 million, according to them, rolling around. Then they tried to stop, and they did stop, and the court ruled they couldn't. They had put a bunch of stuff out there to protect their borders from people coming across, and then I thought it was an Obama judge ruled that no, you can't do that. See, it's funny. The federal government, it is their job to protect our borders. That's their job. It's the job of the president of the United States. It's the job of Congress. But if you're a state like Texas, Louisiana, and your borders are not being protected by the federal government, why don't you have the right to stop, catch, send them back? I mean, if you look at what the left is doing, everything they do is causing chaos. The printing of money is causing chaos. The spending of money is causing chaos. The opening of border is causing chaos. It's chaos. And this is what the left continues to do. They create chaos. This is not hard to watch. Chaos everywhere with these people. How can a sovereign state of Texas not be allowed to protect their own borders when the federal government won't do it because we got prune juice in the White House? It's like, I mean, you're still sovereign states. The federal government's job is to protect the border, and under Joe Biden, nothing's been protected. That's why people are being raped. People are being killed on a daily basis. Here's another one. Sanctuary country ought to cut loose illegal alien wanted for rape. The Lauren Riley mother, her mother, the murder was an avoidable tragedy. I didn't see the speech. I need to go check it out. Looks like there was a beautiful daughter that was raped and killed by illegal. Now, that murder is on the hands of Joe Biden and the Democrats who won't protect the border. Now, we got an election coming up. And I got to believe the American people have to wake up, and the Republicans have an opportunity to run on about three things: the border, the senseless spending and printing of money. Okay? And when economy, crime, it's like every issue they could run on, the left has destroyed us with. We ought to get in an argument. Republicans ought to argue that men cannot have babies and let the Democrats run that men can have babies. See where that comes from. They need to run on some of this stuff dealing with gender because this is getting to be too crazy. But this Lake and Raleigh, this story has broke the heart of a lot of people. And now remember, this happened in Georgia. This happened in Georgia, on the University of Georgia, right off their campus, on their campus, whatever. And Georgia has they voted for Joe Biden. If you just say everything was legit, they voted for Joe Biden, and they put two of the most leftist, Looney Tune fools in the United States Senate. And they're in the South. Is that young lady's death? Is that young lady's death going to be the difference to swing Georgia? Or blacks and whites who vote Democrat, are they going to wake up and say, what are we getting out of this deal? Somebody's laughing because I called Biden prune juice. That's what he looks like. Shriveled up prune juice guy. Let me tell you something. If Lake and Raleigh's, I'm glad her mama's out there. If the people don't vote to get rid of the people out of the folks, do you realize this is March? 7 months. In 7 months, 8 months, we're voting for the President of the United States. We're voting for the President of the United States. And every Democrat thinks the same. Obama thinks like Biden. Michelle thinks like Biden. AOC thinks like Biden. Chuck Schumer thinks like Biden. There's not a Democrat out there that don't think like Biden, that don't believe the same thing Biden does. So why would you vote for a Democrat thinking something's going to change? It's not. It's going to be made worse. So I just keep seeing that picture, that pretty little girl that was killed by an illegal that Joe Biden said, come on in, don't worry about it. 14-year-old kindergarten raped. 14 years old. By Joe Biden sycophant that came across the deal. Folks, we got everything to go beat them, and they need to be beaten bad. I mean, they need to be beaten down bad. We've got to send a message, enough's enough. And let me tell you something. because everybody's getting all this money. Republicans got to say, no, we don't have any more. Absolutely out of money. Sorry, you're not getting. Go do for yourself. That's exactly what needs to happen. Anyway, that's something that we have to watch for. The election is here. I mean, we're gonna blow through the summer, and it's gonna be here. I'm just telling you right now. All right, we're going to take a break. By the way, the winner, David Ivy, Shreveport, Louisiana. You are the winner of the Cajun, Raging Cajun season. Oh, they good. They in all the stores now. It looks great to see them out there. All right, we'll be back. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. If you're going to stay with us, great. If you're not, have a great day.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
America could take a giant step toward a presidential rematch. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It is Super Tuesday with more than 800 Republican delegates at stake in 15 states.
Our party has to come together because we have to beat the Democrats, and they play dirty. They play very dirty.
Former President Trump telling Fox and Friends there's no path for Nikki Haley to win the GOP nomination. Haley has said she hopes to be competitive today. She plans to be home in South Carolina for tonight's results. For Democrats, more than 1,400 delegates are at stake, though President Biden is already focusing on November.
For the Biden campaign, the central pillar is reminding voters about Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election, effectively casting him as an autocrat. They want to sear in people's minds images from January 6th because they're tracking a huge swath of voters who came out in the midterms and then last year's state and local elections to vote against Republicans. But those same voters did not support Biden in 2020. They didn't come to the polls.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The president could face another protest vote over his Mideast policy. Uncommitted is a potential choice for Democrats in 7 states today. The U.S. keeps pushing for another hostage deal in Gaza. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says there's an opportunity for an immediate ceasefire.
It can bring hostages home. That can dramatically increase the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Palestinians who so desperately need it, and can also set the conditions for an enduring resolution.
But a senior Hamas leader says there are several key sticking points, including their demand for an Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. A warning to spring breakers from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
If you're committing crimes, causing havoc, you are going to pay the price. And we will hold you accountable.
Police using more equipment, including drones, as part of a beefed-up presence in vacation hotspots. America is listening to Fox News.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code CLAY.
The race to lead Senate Republicans is taking shape.
The battle of the Johns is down to 2, as Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, the current number 3 Republican in Senate leadership, announces his plans to run for whip the number 2 position. Barrasso saying he made the decision after having, quote, time to reflect on how I might best serve the Republican conference and our country. South Dakota Senator John Thune, the current whip, told local news outlets he plans to run for GOP Senate leader, along with Texas Senator John Cornyn. Thune and Cornyn are trying to replace Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's been the top Senate Republican since 2006 and has announced he will be stepping aside. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Minnesota takes a step toward giving school resource officers clearer authority to use force.
It was an overwhelming approval in Minnesota's Democrat-controlled House to exempt school resource officers from a ban on school teachers and staff putting students in prone positions for discipline, not to enforce school rules, but to enforce law violations. After dozens of police departments pulled officers from schools citing state restrictions passed last year, that agencies say put officers assigned to schools in danger if they couldn't properly do their jobs.
I think this will obviously keep our schools, our students, and our teachers safe, but it'll also give our parents some peace of mind.
State Rep Republican Jeff Witte, Minnesota's Democrat-controlled Senate, now considering a similar bill before it goes to the governor.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. President Biden today plans to highlight efforts to lower costs, including what he calls junk fees. But the Chamber of Commerce now says it'll file a lawsuit to prevent the administration from capping credit card late fees at $8, arguing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is exceeding its authority. A sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow's down 289. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.